I hope you enjoy this video of the design and build of this mid-century modern coffee table. I like to use SketchUp for my designs because it allows me to visualize in 3D just exactly how those joints are going to fit together. Here you can see how the leg parts connect to the middle, and then this sort of custom joint that connects those parts of the leg to the stretcher. I'm calling these half tenons because it's going to go through one side and fill in the bottom part of the mortise, and then that same part is flipped over the other way to go through that mortise. And it feels like a nice tight joint to me. Now this is not 90 degrees, so that we're going to have to come up with a custom clamping call to get direct pressure on those joints. So I actually designed those in SketchUp. I do the same thing on the leg parts. I actually glue those triangular blocks on to get direct clamping pressure. The nice thing about using SketchUp is it allows you to visualize the amount of stock you need to buy at the store and actually be able to see those finished parts nested inside the blank. Here's that centerpiece with those unusual 30-degree half tenons. And here you can see how I use SketchUp to design the jigs to perfectly align those parts for mounting them on the Maverick. There's that half tenon, those two half tenons sort of mounted off center. And now here you'll be able to see in this exploded view how those half tenons are going to slide together through that mortise and lock together. Okay, let's get started. Here I've got the first part of the leg blank on the Maverick. Here I'm going to speed this up to about 8 times the speed and cut that first tenon. Now I use a 3/8 inch upcut spiral bit. It gives me very nice clean shoulders. Great on mortises as well. So I'll be building 8 of those per table. And here's the maple version of it. I'm building 2 copies of this, one in mahogany and one in maple. So you can see how those calls really help me to clamp it up. Now here I've shaped that leg part. I didn't show that on camera, but now I'm going to cut those 2 half tenons. So we'll speed this up a little bit. Getting very nice shavings off the wood with that upcut spiral 3/8 inch bit. And then I'll have to do this and 3 more. And there they are. Now I'm leaning these 2 together so you can see how those half tenons make a nice fit inside of that stretcher. Here I'm doing a dry fit just to make sure all my joints seat nicely. Here's the mahogany version of that same table. Now before I do a glue up, I'm going to take it over to the router and put a nice strong 1/2 inch radius on most of it and leave the transitions to be done later. As you can see here, I come back with the router handheld and clean those up. Then after a lot of sanding, I start to see a base of a table that looks a lot like what I designed. I love those transitions from the leg parts into the stretcher. This maple table is going to get a solid maple top, but I think on this mahogany one I'm going to use a glass top. Now thanks to some help from our friends on our Legacy Facebook page, I'm using this 2-inch 120-degree V-bit to cut a shallow bevel on the bottom of the tabletop in order to make it look not so thick. It's actually 1.25 inches thick. So there's the top on top of the base. Nothing's been finished yet. Still a little bit of sanding to do. And I put on a few coats of Rubio monocoat, took it in the house and set it in front of the couch.